Hi and welcome back. If you've been here before, I am going to just do a general reading and see what messages come through. I have been meaning to continue readings for the chakra series that I started, but clearly we are guided to do certain things at certain times, so I felt guided to use these two decks, the fairy tarot cards and the angel tarot cards. And this deck always makes me think of Archangel Michael energy, but there's a number of archangels in this deck. And I love the fairy oracle deck. It gives me that magical, mystical energy. So let's start with the, actually, let me put this aside. Let's start with the angel deck and see what messages come through. That might be helpful right now. I feel like collectively and individually, we are all navigating a whole lot of different things in the world, in our individual lives, and it can feel challenging. And I think it feels especially challenging because either you've been going through things, a number of things for a long time, or there are a lot of things all at once. And usually if you can usually handle difficult things, but if there's a lot of things all at once, or difficult things for a really long time, it becomes exhausting. And I read a quote once that says, I don't know if it's I can't remember who the quote is from, but the quote said, when we are exhausted, we are often plagued or feel plagued, and this is not verbatim, we feel plagued by things we have already conquered. So it's like things that you might have worked through already, or that you would usually handle really well, feels like it's too much, or it's really difficult because either you're mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically exhausted to the point where it is a bit too much, like the straw that breaks the camel's back. So yeah, I guess these messages are often things that we already know, and sometimes just need to hear again, or some sort of encouragement or guidance. Because sometimes, and especially when you are extremely exhausted or overwhelmed, you may usually be able to find solutions and think clearly and handle stuff. And sometimes we are just in an emotional space, or your brain is tired, or everything all at once, and then it becomes difficult to hear your higher self, or to tap into that part of you that usually knows the answer. And sometimes it helps to get another perspective. So at the bottom of the deck we have the page of water, which says, and my lighting is bad because it's nighttime, intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. A new person enters your life. Excuse all the many noises. I usually don't do readings at this time. A relationship begins a new phase or heightened psychic abilities. So, the page of water can be a younger person, but it doesn't have to be. So this can be you or someone else that you're connected to. So you might receive a message or some sort of communication from someone, or even you might seek advice or to speak to someone And okay, this person could be younger, but not necessarily. You could just be more mature, or vice versa. But this is someone that's intuitive and sensitive, could be artistic and creative and friendly. So I feel like this might even just be a conversation in passing with somebody that gives you the sort of advice that you need to hear, or just a friendly ear, or some kind words, or just a fun conversation with someone that just makes you feel a little better. But this can also be a new friend, a new partner, maybe even a new child, because the Page of Water is a younger energy. The whales are standing out on the card, so whales might be significant in some way. Animals usually have a spiritual meaning behind it. And I feel like whales are these huge, gigantic, these really big animals. And because of their size, they can be intimidating and they could even cause harm. But whales are gentle, extremely gentle, loving, intuitive animals. So this might be the characteristics of someone, like they might be physically big, but they are emotionally almost like a child. Like they are sweet and sensitive and kind. So they're not necessarily immature, but they have this childlike energy, gentle energy, loving energy. So there could be someone like this entering your life, or you could be this person. This could also, I'm also getting that this might be a new phase in one of your children's lives, or in your children's lives, and my child is coughing to confirm. That's a confirmation. So like your child is starting school or graduating, or hitting their teens. So there's some significant new phase beginning, which means it's a new phase for you as well. And your psychic abilities might just be improving, whether you see it as psychic abilities or just your ability to read the room or understand how your partner's emotions work and how you engage with them. Your emotional EQ, I'm having a hard time speaking. We all have these abilities. We just, for some it's heightened naturally, and for others not. And I feel like this might just be also an increase of awareness of maybe how you feel, being able to sense things, having that gut feeling, whatever, whether you see it as psychic and spiritual gifts or not. That might be, for some reason you are tapping into that more. I feel like if you are already very tapped into your psychic abilities, you might have felt blocked recently or for a while, and maybe that was some downtime, disconnection time that you needed for some reason, and now you're back online, or be aware if this is something brand new for you, that you might be able to sense others' energies and emotions more than you realize, and you need to be mindful, because sometimes you'll think that you are feeling a certain way, like anger out of nowhere or sadness out of nowhere, and you'll think it's your own, but it's not. So that's also coming through. We have a number 20 card, which is renewal. In traditional tarot, this is the World card, so something coming all the way full circle, a huge major completion. It's like a new life. And it says review and evaluate a favorable assessment of the facts, time to move in a new direction. So yeah, this is like major ending energy, like you're graduating and now you're moving out of your home with your parents and moving out on your own, or you're getting married. It's like major life transition, like you've come full circle in a major way with something, like the end of your school career. But it's a time to move in a new direction. We have another major arcana, number 11, which is the strength card, and this is in this deck related to Archangel Ariel. Great inner strength, release harsh judgments, forgiveness, and compassion. So you may have needed a lot of inner strength to get through this cycle in your life, this phase in your life. And now, you know, if you've gone through a lot of really difficult things, or you've just had to work really hard, you have to release any negativity from this phase of your life and find forgiveness and compassion, whether that's forgiving yourself and having compassion for yourself. Like, say things have been really difficult, not to beat yourself up about it. Or if you've made mistakes, you know, as long as you learn from the lessons and implement change, and you've grown from it, then you can forgive yourself and show yourself compassion and understanding. Or this might be someone else that you need to show compassion and understanding for. The tiger is also significant. Let's see. So we have two archangels here. If you are familiar with these archangels and work with archangels, we also have the two of fire, which is the two of wands. And this is, you've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts continue to move forward. Yeah, I feel like what I was saying earlier about a lot happening at once, or having gone through a lot of things for a long time and having to be strong through it. You may not realize how much you've grown through that. So you've come into your own in some way, and there are new partnerships and new contracts, whether that is job contracts or relationship commitments, or a contract for a home, or whatever that is, or even soul contracts. Because you've grown, you've changed, you are going to be on the frequency of new things, and those things are coming in to your life now, and you need to keep going, which is the last thing you want to hear when you're exhausted from life. But you have the strength that it takes to get through it, because you've already made it this far. And then we have the King of Water, which is the King of Cups. This is giving me King Trident energy. Trustworthy, compassionate, respected, and cultured. So that could be describing you or a new person that's coming into your life. So this can be a water sign, masculine energy. Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. Open your heart and mind to those around you. Trustworthy and heartfelt advice or charity work. So again, this can be you, the King of Cups, or this can be someone else coming into your life. And this can be in any capacity, whether that's related to work, a love relationship, a child being born, friendships. But this can also be not necessarily male or female, but it's masculine energy. So you might be in this energy, whether you are a man or a woman, where you are a trustworthy person. You're very respected and cultured and compassionate and open-hearted, and people trust your advice, and maybe they enjoy speaking to you, or they come to you for help or support, emotional support, or you help people in some way with the charity work, or that's something that you want to do. Again, like I said, collectively, we are going through really challenging stuff. So you might be that person that is just so compassionate, but not just compassionate. You have a high emotional intelligence, so you are able to give good advice and be able to hold space for people through difficult times. Or this can be someone else doing that for you, coming into your life. And that is as many cards as I'm going to take. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Spring, which is the Six of Wands. This is success. Wonderful news is on its way. Smart choices that bring rewards, success, and public recognition. So, you're going to be successful in something. So if you work in a field where, like, you're a psychologist or a therapist or a motivational speaker, a religious or spiritual leader, or just a father or a mother or something where, you have to hold space for people and be an emotional support, give advice, counseling. If you are in that field of work or planning to go in that direction, because it says continue to move forward, this is like a new path that you are starting on, it's going to be successful. Someone might need to hear that there's good news coming about something, and you also need to hear that if you've made a choice to go in a new direction, you are on a new path, it's going to be successful, it's going to bring rewards. There's always a little bit of fear, sometimes a lot of fear at the beginning of a new journey, because it's uncertain. Seven of Spring, there's a progression here. Be assertive, don't back down from what you believe, courageously stand up for yourself. And I pulled this, I think it was this card earlier, when I did a 2-card spread that I posted on the community tab. But I think it was also the Seven of Wands, but from the other deck. So it looks a little bit different, but she's got a bow and arrow here. That might be significant, Sagittarius. But you can't give up now, is what I'm getting. Like, if there are things that are testing the decision you've made, the path that you're on, you cannot let it sway you. You cannot. You have to be assertive, and assertive doesn't mean aggressive or, stubborn necessarily in a bad way, but just don't back down on the choices you've made, because something's going to be successful. And you are intuitive with the Page of Water here, or sensitive, artistic, friendly, or someone's going to sort of affirm this to you, that you are, maybe you don't see yourself as this kind, compassionate, intuitive, sensitive, respected person, but it might be reflected back to you in some way by someone else. We also have the Seven of Summer, which is the Seven of Cups. No more procrastinating. Your power comes from making a decision. Confusion that arises from overanalyzing the options. Overthinking energy. It's always good to think things over and reflect and analyze stuff. But there comes a point when, if you're not putting in some sort of action, then you're just going to drive yourself crazy and confuse yourself, or talk yourself out of it, or find reasons, that negative things that will deflect you from what you've decided on and what you were doing. So when you hit that place, then it's time to take action and not think about it anymore. And even if you don't know what the action is, maybe do something active where you can get your mind to just calm down and relax. We have the King of Spring as well. Innovative, inspiring, wise, theatrical. There might be two masculine energies. One that's King of Wands, that is more, let's say, extroverted and more fiery, more exciting. And another masculine energy that is more emotional and sensitive and loving. So, this is like the energy where it's love, and this is sort of attraction. And this doesn't have, it can be two masculine energies, or this can just be the energy that you are needing to be in. You need to take action, inspired action, guided action, but also be compassionate and loving and kind. So it's like taking action from an open heart about the things that you absolutely love and are meaningful and important to you, in a, not in an egoic way or a superficial way or a shallow way, but things like your children, your family, and say if it's work, not just things that are going to bring in money, but it doesn't line up with your ethical, religious, or your moral principles and beliefs, but makes you feel fulfilled as well as bring in money. We all need money, so it's not to say to discount the material aspect of life. We also have the Princess of Autumn, and this is a studious, responsible, cheerful, and mischievous energy. And again, there's news here and news here. Happy news, wonderful news. This one is happy news about your career, promotions or scholarships, well thought out plans that go perfectly, needing a little push to get going. So maybe you're waiting on news about getting accepted at a job or a learning institution, or a promotion or a raise. There's some happy news about your career. You might not feel like it, but I feel like sometimes our insecurities can overplay or override our intuitive knowing. But I feel like you are somebody that probably overthinks, but you always look at everything and consider everything and plan and strategize, and maybe to a fault, and drive yourself a little bit crazy. But you also take heart-led decisions and inspired action. So there's going to be success here. I want to just tie this up and close up the reading. So there's a major cycle ending, and with the World card to begin with here, there might be something on a very large scale that is closing out for you or for a collective. And it's really been a testing thing, you've needed to persevere through it. But I feel like often those big, major, or really difficult things is to help us to choose a specific direction. Say, if your job was just easy and okay and, not amazing, the best thing you could ever do, but it was good enough, you would probably stay there for a really long time. And, this probably is a collective thing in the world where we've needed great change. And it's not to say it's a punishment or deserved when we go through difficult things. It's just that's just a big shift like that was just required to change things for the better. And through those processes, we access other aspects of ourselves, like deeper compassion and empathy, and the ability to understand new perspectives, and maybe we realize things that are important to us that we might have taken for granted before. Or we develop new skills with how to deal with conflicting situations. And these skills is inevitably what brings the success, because now, even if we're doing the same thing, we are able to do it a lot better from a better mindset or better heart space, a better, more awareness. But there are brand new beginnings here. Like I said in the beginning, with the page of water, it could be a birth of a new child, or a child reaching a new phase in life, or you just becoming more sensitive and intuitive, accessing spiritual gifts in whatever way that resonates for you, and you can't back down now. There's 2 sevens here that seem significant. 7-7. So yeah, that is the reading. If you needed some sort of confirmation that you are on the right path, that you need to keep going, some sort of motivation, happy news and wonderful news is on its way. And you are going to have some sort of success or recognition for your work. It might be something to do with charity work or children, or just something where you have to connect with people in a really open-hearted way. You're going to be noticed, recognized, or receive some sort of reward for this, and it's going to be successful, whatever this is. I hope this was helpful. If you've made it this far, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to get notifications for when I upload new videos. It's helpful to hear back in the comments. Sort of gives an indication of what sort of readings to do more of. I try to do a whole number of different readings, so sometimes I will do energy updates on astrology, astrological transits, or just what type of energy we can expect collectively. Also self-care, self-love readings, what we can do for our emotional, mental, or physical well-being. I very rarely, but sometimes do relationship and love readings, and then I also do zodiac readings and a number of others. So subscribe if you'd like to be notified. Comment, let me know if this was helpful, and I hope to see you again in another reading.